Hey guys, Chomsky here. Uh, this is Chomsky after eating 2 burritos, so I am quite full, and you may hear me hacking up um, stuff. So I'm going to apologize. If I was a proper YouTuber, I would have an editor or anything along those likes and be like, yo, dude, let's just edit that out. But we don't. We're going to go one take because that's what this is. I digress. We are here to talk about Kerin the Harvester. Um, Dude gets a lot of shit for a being named Kerin, but just being kind of wonky. Uh, Again, I am very fortunate that I am in a clan that does siege, and we win enough feral things for me to put feral on him. Um, I'm not anticipating a lot of people to have this capability, so I just want to put that disclaimer out there in the beginning because it's essential. But yeah, man, Kerin, kind of all right, actually. Needs a lot of support. This guy is not going to be a dude that is going to single handedly win you things, but he's going to get you there. So let's go over his kit really quick. He's not booked. He's mastered. I mastered him. What a great use of resources. But I digress. AoE has a 50% chance to put out a decreased speed for 2 turns. Steals 5% of each enemy's turn meter. Steals another 10% of that turn meter if they're under a decreased speed. Okay, sounds reasonable. You know, put out their decreased speed, have him attack, and he steals a little bit more. Not bad. A2. Attacks one enemy, puts all of the target's skills on cooldown, which, alright. Has a 75% chance, that goes up to a hundo, of decreasing the turn meters of all enemies under a sleep debuff by 15%. Has a 100% chance of decreasing the turn meters of enemies without a sleep debuff by 30% instead. Okay, cool. If you got sleep, he's taking it down by 15. If there is no sleep, then it's 30. Okay, sounds all right. More importantly, it's putting all of the target's skills on cooldown. On a 3 turn, that's not bad, man. Uh, it has that Crixia Warlord type of deal, like just on a 1. And dude's a magic-based champ, so okay, I get it. It can't be an AoE on that one. Like I feel like that's designated for voids or mythicals, but okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. The A3 on a 4-turn cooldown when fully booked is an AoE. Has a 75% chance of placing sleep for 1 turn. Will ignore any block debuff champ, or will ignore any block debuffs buffs. Then grants an extra turn. All right, so that's pretty big. We have an AoE here that the sleep could go through block debuffs, and then yeah, he gets an extra turn. So really, this is a 3-turner, and then this is essentially a 2-turner. Okay, I mean, like that's pretty sweet that he could land that sleep through that. The difficulties about it is you want to make sure that there's no stone skin out there. If there is stone skin, it's a 50% chance. So like that's not cool. So again, we're gonna talk about it in a second. Here we have this wonky passive. Whenever an enemy attempts to increase their turn meter, dude says, "I'll take a quarter of it." A quarter of it is not going to be done. All right, so it's 75% more effect. Okay, that's neat. The active is that whenever a sleep debuff is removed or expires on a target, instantly activates the Threshmaster, which is this, that target skill cooldown. Does not work if a sleep debuff is removed by damage. So that's the sucky thing. If this was still active with damage, then Kerin just becomes almost S tier. He becomes kind of like that, like Chogger, where if somebody has poison, he gets to attack, and there's a chance of him putting you on sleep. Like that. That's pretty snazzy. The fact that this you're basically waiting for that dude to wake up, or get cleansed. That kind of sucks, but it's neat for that to go into effect. When I was just doing a quickie in arena with them, like this was going on a little bit more than I anticipated. So that's pretty rad. It's a free hit, basically a free skill cooldown. Like all right, um, I don't see anything bad in that. Like it could be better if this was, maybe an AOE hit. Um, if this was based on damage, that'd be neat, but it's not. So I'm still gonna take it as it is, and I think it's pretty solid. As a lizard man feature, that's pretty cool. I put Nature's Wrath on him just with all the debuffs, just to get it that much more damage out of him. Molten Death Bell, just for the accuracy, and then longevity wise, the defense out there. Um, Also to get more turn meter. Like really, that's it. Um, Again, it works with sleep. So, uh, support tree. I'm on this huge deterrence kick right now. You're gonna see it in a few videos of mine. Absolutely love it. So it is what it is. I went with oppressor just because I want more turn meter, and he's putting out all those debuffs, man. So that's not bad. This one, I did the Master Hexer, which doesn't have any effect on sleep, which is his main thing. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, I could have gotten Spirit Haste, but really, unfortunately, this is kind of a dead area. This really, I just wanted Oppressor. So it was either these three, and potentially I should go Spirit Haste because at least that has a chance to do something. Because we have decreased speed, okay, to get that chance out there, okay, not bad, but that's really it. Um, so at least with Spirit Haste, at least you get a little bit more speed. But I digress. Again, I have him in Feral. You could go a little bit faster, but the idea here, like, really just to deal a little bit more damage with my team. So I say that while trying to do arena with them, and we're going to try it out here. So I have, again, this is a ridiculous account, so bear with me. I have Carnage for the speed lead, 33%. I have Crixia in there just to wipe out everything. And that basically Kerin has to be married with someone like that. We need, like, if you have a Kaimar, just a total wipe. So this way the sleeps can proc. That's fantastic. And then I have Committus to be my damage dude, in which I could take this out and put in a Siggy, because I know Siggy's a little bit slower than Kerin. So let's try this out. So I want to wipe as much as I can. Again, a little AoE, sleep action. Want to do it again. So we get the Threshmaster there. And yeah, okay, so he loses. So we lose. Takeaways on this one. It'd be cool if I had more attack on him. So this way he does some damage there. I didn't have enough. I don't have enough attack on him. I leaned into the support lineup then maybe I should, just because I want to be accurate. Carnage putting out there the black active and black passives is wonderful. Carnage, when you get him from Curse City, super useful. Um, this would be a fun one. Let's get smoked. Hmm. So again, skill cooldown there, kind of wipe away as much as I can. $15,000, that's not too bad. So I'm he's taken a space here, which isn't the greatest. Um, it's not exactly the most ideal situation. I leaned into that book, or leaned into how he read more than anything else, but I still think there is some use for him. So he got that AoE off, get that A1 off. Don't necessarily know how that happened, but that's fine. You know, putting out their decreased speed is pretty neat on the A1. I like A1s like that. Legit, any way that I could get additional stuff, I will always take it. It's fine. All right, so this is a video supposed to be about Kerin, and having some difficulty actually opening him up into things, but you're getting a sense out of him of what ideally I would love him to do, or just really just put people to sleep and then have them go nuts. But that's not happening here, which is fortunate. I shouldn't have done that, but it's fine. I'll fill up by 20%. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, not cool, man. I was gonna do that to him. That's fine. And I realize I'm leaning heavy into team power here more than anything else, but I do want that challenge out of what is in front of me. So bear with me on this one. So he's putting people to sleep. I'm just going to go like this, decreasing turn meters. You know, the other element out of this one is if you so desire to have a team built around Kerin, which would be fun to have, um, there is that mastery of like people doing more damage to champs under certain CC stuff. So that could be a fun thing to have. I don't think it's advisable necessarily to put all your eggs in one basket with Kerin. Um, he he just he's just an interesting champ. You know, it's an interesting mechanic, and I think it's fun, but it doesn't really proc too much. Um, let's go back to him. So that mastery that I was talking about is, you know, the opportunist. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna put sleep out there. It goes through block debuffs. You know, that's a fun one. Is it worthwhile to redo masteries just to get that to work with Kerin? I don't think so. I think he's just one of those champs that is just on the border of being good, that like it needs a lot of setup. So he's kind of clunky in that regard. And in all reality, I'm not gonna see him that often in any content. Dude's attack is pretty low. Decent HP. You know, pretty solid speed, but really leaning heavily into that support is how I would do them. And even then, it's kind of meh. Like, dude's crit damage is pretty low, but I just wanted to have the 9-piece feral just this way he could build up others on there. And I got him in crit rate gloves. So there's definitely some stuff that could be definitely tweaked a little bit. But yeah, I think he's all right. He's nice just to toss around. Like, when you have fun with your daily driving car and you get like a rental, hey, that's kind of fun for that day or week. But long term, it's like, all right, I just want my old team back, and that's what it is. He's nice for a spin, but not necessarily long term. But I, he's definitely one that warrants a B rating in the Chomsky handbook here. But yeah, just kind of a cool champ to use every so often in progression. Just have fun with it. So yeah, that's what I got for you on Kerin the Harvester. Hope you enjoyed. Find me on Twitch. No one my Chomsky. All right, take care, guys.